Let's proceed with the pre-processing working group.
Hi, I'm Joaquin Anton from the pre-processing working group, and I would like to share with you a few updates from the work we've been doing last year. If you remember, up to the creation of the group, ONNX models were limited to the network part of the model, while any preprocessing steps were specified separately, via Python functions using third-party tools or vaguely described in plain English. This created issues of compatibility and deployment. So the goal of the group was to standardize the definition of the preprocessing steps so that they are not ambiguous and incorporate those to the ONNX standard so that they can be serialized with the model. This will simplify the deployment and make sure that the processing steps are compatible. Since the creation of the group, we worked on infrastructure necessary to support things like batch processing and also the possibility to combine existing models. And since the last community meetup last year, we've been focusing on few operator updates that would enable the creation of our first preprocessing model, which we chose to be ResNet. Just recently, we published this first example to the ONNX Model Zoo and also added a way to get an end-to-end model via the ONNX Hub API. Currently, we are working on standardizing the image decoding operation and incorporating it to the preprocessing model. And also looking to the future, we plan on tackling a second application on a totally different data domain, and we chose this application to be BERT. So let's take a closer look at some of the work from last year. Here are some operators updates necessary to support ResNet. We extended the resize operation with an optional anti-aliasing filter which is applied when downscaling. This is often used by some popular image processing toolkits such as Pillow. We also added a way to specify a resize operation while keeping the original aspect ratio of the image. We also added a new ONNX function called center crop path, which is a higher level abstraction that sits on top of slice and path operators. Simplifies the definition of the pipeline, but also adds a possibility for specialization. And lastly, we added a new coordinate mode, which is a flip invariant version of the default half pixel mode. Being flip invariant is very important in some applications that deal with image locations, such as bounding boxes in an object detection application. So we put all the pieces together and we came up with this first ONNX preprocessing model. We start with the local function that we tag as the preprocessing function. This function takes a sequence of images at the input and produces a single tensor as an output, representing the process batch. The batch processing nature of this model is represented by the sequence map operator. The sequence map operator applies a subgraph to each element in the input sequence, producing a sequence of process samples. The processing steps consist of resizing, extraction of a center crop, normalization, and transposition to channel first layout. So after processing each of the samples independently, we concatenate all of them to a single tensor. That would be the output of the preprocessing model and the input to the network model. We have published this model to the ONNX Model Zoo, and it's now the recommended way of applying preprocessing for ResNet. And on top of that, we added a new function to the ONNX Hub API, allowing users to get end-to-end models. That is, a model that combines the preprocessing steps with the main model. By specifying the name of the preprocessing model, the API downloads both of them and connects the outputs of the preprocessing model to the inputs of the main model. This way, we can publish preprocessing models independently from the network, while allowing users to get the end-to-end model easily. So this is all from the preprocessing working group. We welcome anyone interested in the topic to join our monthly meetings or drop us a message via Slack and share your ideas. Thank you for listening.
Any questions for Joaquin? I believe he's online. Okay, if none, then I think that was the end of our SIG and working group updates. Let's take a quick break. So maybe about, we can be back by 12:35. And then we'll move on to our roundtable discussions, which will be the last section of the day. So see you all in at 12:35.